diagnose. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to I Woke Up Like This, live on a Monday morning at 7 o'clock a.m. So I had a few requests in my inbox last week. For one, to lay out the principles of intuitive eating just in one video, which is what I'm going to do this morning. And two was to go live on Instagram as well. So yeah, so we've got a crazy setup here. But I'm ready to roll. So, yeah, just a couple of things before we get started. Next week, new classes at the studio, yoga classes start. So registration is open for that. I will throw the link in the comments once the video is done, as well as I still only have 2 spots for personal training left currently. So if you are interested in that, you can book your free goal and mobility assessment, and we'll get that ball rolling. And there is no, one of the reasons we do the free one is that there's no, you don't have to do it at the end. If you have the one thing and you decide it's not for you, totally cool, but it hasn't happened yet. So anyways, let's get started. So 10 principles of intuitive eating. So I do want to start off by saying that this information is simply informational only. I'm not a registered dietitian. I do have fitness certifications in nutrition, but I am not a registered dietitian. So this is just informational and is not a replacement for medical or mental health advice. I do have to put that at the very beginning. I also wrote it if you're watching it through Facebook or YouTube. So let's get started. So first things first is it is not completely out of the question if you are not ready for intuitive eating. It is definitely a different approach. I may list talk about the first principle and you'd be like, you're crazy. This does not work. This is the only type of style of eating or anything that's actually scientifically proven to be accurate. A lot of times when diets, lifestyles, resets are scientifically proven, it's actually over a very short period of time where results are happening. But what happens with these very strict diets is in time, they stop working. Your body needs those things that you have been restricting for whatever reason. We'll talk about that in a little bit. And you end up kind of gaining all the way back and sometimes more. So it happens. It's true. Science. So the number one principle is rejecting the diet mentality. So no more diets, no more lifestyles, no more resets, no more counting calories and points. You got to throw it all away. Any thought that there could be another diet that'll help you finally lose the weight, that intuitive eating is the diet that will finally allow you to lose weight or get you the results and keep them off, is going to keep you from connecting with and bringing you back to intuitive eating, which is eating without thinking about, is this good, is this bad, how many calories, how many this, how many that. That is what intuitive eating is. I have another video on that, and if you're on the mailing list, a blog's going to come out shortly as well. So fact is, you may, with intuitive eating, you may not lose weight. You may not gain weight. You may gain weight. It's all about bringing your body back to its own genetic blueprint. So we are all meant to look a certain way. We're not all meant to look the same. Principle number 2 is honor your hunger. So keeping your body fed with enough energy and carbohydrates. Carbohydrates is a huge factor in producing energy within the body. So when there is not enough energy in the body, this is what leads to binge cycles. You start to overeat. It's almost this primal feeling that you can't get enough food into your system. So starting to notice those signs that you are starting to get hungry. I had a really tough time with this after my history of disordered eating. I never knew I was hungry until I was starving. And this was a big one for me, is it was like I had to have all the food in the world right now. So honoring your hunger is principle number 2. Number 3 is making peace with food, giving yourself unconditional permission to eat all the food, everything, no matter what label is on it, because there are no rules, there are no labels. When you decide a certain food is bad, you start to feel deprived of it, whether you need it from an energetic standpoint or not. So again, this is where unsatiated cravings come from. This is where binging comes from. And then you start to feel guilty, and then you start to look for the next diet. So making peace with food, all of it. There are no bad foods. There are no good foods. There are just foods. Certain foods will fuel you better than others. But when we're talking about, I'm losing the word now. When we're talking about, it's going to have to come back to me. They're equal. They're equal in terms of what you mentally view them as. And there's a better word for it, but I can't think about it right now. So that might mean I need another sip of coffee. Number 4 is challenging the food police. So this is a combination of stuff that is coming at you externally and a combination of your own internal monologue. So for instance, the rules, this is where the rules play in. You're allowed to eat this. You're not allowed to eat that. You are good for eating this. You are bad for eating that. You need to now go to the gym and burn this amount of calories to make up for this holiday that just happened. All of this stuff is playing out in your head. And yeah, a lot of it is in your head because we've been conditioned to believe that this is the way we are. But there's also some of it that's coming externally, especially if you are either working with someone or with a program that is continuously telling you these things. I was really guilty when I taught group fitness at a big gym, I'll call it. And after the holidays being like, hey, it's time to like burn those turkey calories. Like, I am so embarrassed for saying these things because there is no need, like, especially when it comes to Thanksgiving. I love turkey dinners. First of all, I'm getting off track here, but to then riddle it with guilt the next day over how many calories you consumed, it kind of negates the whole experience. And it is one of my favorite holidays is Christmas. And then probably Thanksgiving because of the turkey. A lot of stuff comes down to food for me. Anyways, number 5 is respecting your fullness. So during meals, during snacks, whenever you're sitting down with anything, take a moment, pause, see how you were feeling, and see how the food is tasting. And literally take a moment, think about it, and then make a decision for how you will proceed. If you are no longer hungry, if you are but not full, you don't have to clear your plate. I don't know if anybody else is with me on this, but I was a kid who was taught that you have to clear your plate, you have to clear your plate, you have to do it all. If you're not hungry anymore, you don't need to clear your plate. Just start adjusting maybe the amount of food that you put on the plate. You can always get up and get extra. There is no problem with that. I hope most households, but giving yourself permission to just stop before you start to feel stuffed. Number 6, right? I just said 5. Number 6 is discovering the satisfaction factor. So we get a little bit lost in the rat race of being thin and healthy, and we lose the ability to simply enjoy the meals that are put in front of us. So, allowing yourself to come back to that place where you're enjoying the flavors, you're enjoying how food makes you feel when you are hungry, and you start to feel, how it feels like to start to fuel your body with food again. Maybe the energy that comes after it, maybe just the satisfaction of a piece of chocolate or a small bowl of chips. I'm more of a salty person than a sweet person. There's nothing wrong with these things. So our main goal in life is pleasure and satisfaction, in my opinion. A lot of these kind of go hand in hand with happiness and blah, blah, blah. But I really believe, and there's a lot of cultures, including, I believe it's Japanese culture, where their idea of health is pleasure or something like that. I wish I had a quote on that, but I don't. Yeah, just allowing yourself to feel satisfaction in the choices that you make. Again, this goes back to the same thing. These all feed off each other. Some things are kind of being repeated in others. It's not about guilt. It's about just enjoying what you have and all that good stuff. Yeah. Number 7, honor your feelings without using food. So intuitive eating is intuition. And a lot of times when we are feeling intense emotions like sadness, anger, loneliness, boredom, we are actually eating and we are not paying attention to how we are feeling. It's like that whole like, oh, you just broke up with a boyfriend, and you know, the thought that comes into your head is sitting with a big huge tub of ice cream and eating it all. You're not thinking about what you're eating. You're not intuitively seeing when you're hungry, when you're full, and you end up feeling just really gross afterwards, right? You can't disagree with that. So stop using food to try to help bad feelings, whatever they may be, or feelings at all. Maybe good feelings, bad feelings, I don't know. Number 8 is respect your body, your genetic blueprint. I talked about this, I think, at the very top. We are not all meant to be the same size, just like my feet are not meant to fit into my bonus daughter's shoes. Except I just realized I use that analogy a lot. I think I have to change that because I think we are the same shoe size at the moment. But the point is, there's a wide range of shoe sizes. For women alone, it's what, like size 5 to size, I don't know, 11, 12? Or am I like just doing across the board adult sizes? I don't know. So we are not meant to have the same shoe size, just as we are not meant to physically be the same size everywhere else. So honoring what size your body is, your genetic blueprint, this is what this style of eating, if you can even call it that, it is the way we should be eating, is going to bring you back to your own natural size, whatever it may be, and then honoring and respecting that, because you are amazing, you are beautiful, just the way you are. The amount of times I see things on social media, these gorgeous women who I feel like don't even know it. And I say women because I don't know. I don't feel like often, it's not like it doesn't exist. But I don't know. I don't see it as often in men. But anyway, it is what it is. I'm getting off topic. Number 9, exercise and feeling the difference. Toss away the grueling workouts. No more focus on what calories you are burning. Sometimes, often, I mean, everyone is different again. This is not enough motivation to get you out of bed in the morning. So instead of doing exercise to figure out how many calories you burn and such and such, exercise for the reason of how it makes you feel, whether it's how you feel in the moment, how you feel afterwards. It needs to be something more immediate, more attainable than the amount of weight you're going to lose, because it's just not enough sometimes, because that's in the distant future. What is it going to give you now, in this moment? That is what matters. So yes, exercise, feel the difference. Feel is the key word, not look to, things that are borderline out of our control. Number 10, the very last one, is honor your health. This is all about gentle nutrition, which I toss around a lot, consistency, progress, not perfection. One bad meal, one binge on a giant bowl of chips, one day of, I don't know, whatever you label as not being good is not going to destroy your body. Instead, focus on what tastes good. And you will be surprised when you start to intuitively check into that, how these things will change. The day I came home from work, after not having a chance to eat any fruit or vegetables throughout the day, it was 9 o'clock. This was like prime popcorn eating time. I got home and I just wanted a big ass salad. That's all I wanted. So I made a giant bowl of salad and I ate it. And this was a shocking thing. I have struggled with eating for years and years and years. This was a real eye-opening moment. I actually posted it on my stories because I felt in that moment like, who am I? This has not happened to me. So these things will change. The longer you stick with it, the better it's going to be. The better you're going to get at it. And then what makes you feel good? And just as an example again, because I can only use myself as an example, I have IBS and I've actually been having some crazy IBS attacks lately. I don't know what is triggering it. So I might have to do some exploration with that, but it doesn't feel good. And I don't want to feel that way. So especially if it ends up being something that I really enjoy the taste of. And sometimes it might be okay to go with that taste, but at the end of the day, I don't want to feel gross like that. I don't know, I just want to feel good in my body. I don't want to feel icky every time at the end of the day, every day, which is kind of where I am lately. It is what it is, so we're going to figure that out. And then we're going to make some adjustments based on what that thing is. So anyways, as always, thank you so much for tuning in this morning, whether it was live or during the replay. If you are interested to chat a little bit more about this style of eating, so intuitive eating, and interested to work with me further, definitely set up that free goal and mobility assessment. There's a link in the bio. You can also access it through the website at www.bodymindfitness.ca. I am available both in person and online. So with that said, thanks again, as always, for tuning in this morning. And questions, comments, concerns, pop them in the comments, throw them in my DMs, email me. If you've got requests for something you would like to see coming up, let me know. Aside from that, enjoy your holiday Monday. I totally forgot. Everyone's going to be home today. I got up early to try to avoid the bad rush of Monday mornings, but everyone's off, so everyone's still sleeping. All right. I'll talk to you later. Thanks again, and I'll see you next Monday. Have a good one. Bye.